everybody. Welcome to Attitudes with Andy. This is the place where we get to learn and grow together on how we can be our best selves. So if that sounds like a vibe, feel free to follow along for the vibes, really. So today's mini episode, I want to talk about structuring your energy. We always hear about structuring your time and management. But what I have realized is that in order to get things done, we kind of need energy. We need fuel, all right? And we all feel that at different times, you know? You know those morning people who spring out of bed and they're like, good morning. Yeah, I'm one of those. And you know those those night owls who are up late and suddenly they have all their creative juju going on. Yeah, that's not me. But there's people like that. It's crazy. It's wild. And then there's people like me who it gets to 5 p.m. and I'm like, I can't make any life decisions. Okay? So I just need to sleep. Now, the reason we're talking about that is you need to realize when you have your best energy. Okay? When you have your bestest amount of energy to get shite done. Okay? And then you need to know how your energy might deplete during the day. And then you need to know how to re-energize yourself when it does deplete and how to structure your day to get the most amount of it. So, for me personally, as I said, I'm a morning person, okay? And ideally, I would love to work out in the morning, socialize in the morning, do all my work in the morning, go surfing in the morning, like do everything in the morning. But yeah, that's probably not realistic. But what I do love to do, I do love a good movement in the morning. And then I love to do my hardest, biggest mind tasks in the morning because if it's a hard task, I have the most amount of energy, I have the most amount of creative and problem-solving juju going on up in here. So that's when I'm going to do the hard task. Then throughout the day, I notice my energy is depleting. For lunch, I'm going to try and have more of a protein and complex carb meal instead of just like pasta because afterwards I'm going to feel like taking a nap. That's not ideal. I'm a big pro napper, but if you're in the office, sometimes you can't nap, okay? And then in the afternoon is when I'll save those tasks that don't require that much brain juju. You know, the tasks that you could just chuck on a podcast, be listening to, and then also be doing the task. Maybe you're doing that now. If you are, message me squirrels and I will know what you're doing. Squirrels with some context. Okay. Okay, anyway. Other things. So now we know kind of how to structure our day, maybe in work terms or getting stuff done. Now, we all have a capacity for how much we can work, right? And whilst I'm a big advocate in working hard, work smart as well, you know? Work smart, not hard. Work smart and hard, okay? Because I could sit down for 8 hours and be doing quote unquote work. But how much of those 8 hours am I actually doing versus doing 2 or 3 hours of deep focus work? Because I guarantee you when you are distraction free and you are in flow and you are on a roll, you can get a lot of things done. Like you will be gobsmacked how much you can get done. And so it's really important to get into those flow states. So what are the things that help you get into those flow states? For me, exercising beforehand really helps me. Again, nutrition. I have to have a good breakfast, lunch, dinner, whatever's happening. Nutrition, key. Another thing that will re-energize you is, well, actually, this is if you're an extrovert. But for me, I need to structure in social time. It's very key for me, okay? I'm a disgusting extrovert. Like I could be around people all day, every day. And whilst I love my own solo time, if it came down to it, I could cop it and it'd be fine. Like I'd probably be like, I want a bit of solo time, but it's not going to destroy me. Whereas like an introvert would be like, oh, this is my hell. Anyway. So I need to make sure I'm going out of my way to have social time that refills my cup and my soul. Another thing is sleep. And I know you're rolling your eyes being like, oh my God, we always hear it, sleep, sleep, sleep. But it is so crucial. It really is. So if maybe like 5 out of the 7 nights a week, you're getting a solid 8+ hours, that's chef's kiss. There's going to be a few nights where you're not going to get that. That's okay. There's going to be a few nights where maybe you can't sleep because your brain's like, hey, I have this idea and this idea. That's okay. The worst thing you can do is be like, I must get it every single night. Because then when you're trying to go to sleep, you're actually freaking out. I don't know if anybody else gets that. Okay. And the last thing that I really put into my schedule, and I highly recommend it, and I know you guys aren't going to like this, but it's still nothingness time. White noise, just nothingness. Because, and I've said this before, I sound like a broken record. When I have things on my mind, things that I'm trying to solve, me just trying to think to solve the problem doesn't always work. If anything, it makes it worse because then you're just like overstimulating your brain and you're just thinking too hard about it. You know when you're like looking for something and then you can't find it, but it's actually really in front of you because you were looking too hard? I don't know. That's how I feel with my brain. And so when I am going for a beach walk with nothing in my ears, no phone with me, just me and the ocean, or I'm hugging a tree, or I'm just zenning out, those are when I have my bestest ideas. Actually, fun fact, when I'm on the train, because that really relaxes me, when I'm on a bus, anything commuting, love. It calms the heck out of me. Motion calms me down like a no tomorrow. Anyway, so those are really, really important for me because that is when I have my best ideas. It's when I problem solve. It's when I can reflect. And whilst I'm trying to not think, I swear it's because my brain is so calm that it's like, oh, wait, why don't we just solve it like this? And then I'm like, oh, yeah. So when you're structuring your week or your day, please, please, please look at things like socializing, still time / nothingness. And by the way, scrolling on Instagram does not count as nothingness time. Exercise, having wellness activities, all of those are productive in my eyes. They are so productive because they're fueling you and your body and it's re-energizing you. And the more energy you have, the more you can put it and channel it into stuff that you love and that you're passionate about. Okay, because try and start a business or whatever it is you want to do whilst eating junk food, not getting any sun, not doing any movement, not just like sitting down staring at a laptop for 12 hours a day, not getting enough sleep, not socializing, like all of those compared to if you are doing that, you're going to be so much better. It's like putting vegetable oil in a Ferrari. You wouldn't do that. We are the goddamn Ferraris. Actually, I'm the Bentley. Ha ha ha. Pun intended. For those of you who don't know, my last name is Bentley. Okay, anyway. So we're understanding that we can do things to re-energize ourselves and help our energy. And we can also be mindful of when our energy is at its best and to utilize that very wisely, okay? And whilst I love to socialize in the morning, I would rather not because that's like my productive time. And like I'll still do it a few times a week, that's fine. But if I was doing that every single morning, I could be using my energy a lot more wisely. And then in the afternoon, when I'm just a bit more like brain dead but still have energy, then I can go and socialize and have a good catch up. And I've done everything I need to do for the day. So that is how I like to manage my energy. It's going to be different for every single person. And the last thing I would like to say is if you're working closely with one other person or a team or whatever it is, and I know this might not be realistic for everyone, I would highly recommend verbalizing how you work and your energy to other people, okay? So like my boss knows I am most productive and switched on in the morning. So that's when we're going to have talks about potential investments. We're analyzing businesses and we're doing all of the like brainy stuff in the morning. Then in the afternoon is when I'm just maybe like booking flights or paying invoices, stuff I don't really need to think about. And then, if we've had a long meeting and it's kind of crossed over to lunchtime and then we want to have a debrief, I'll happily be like, hey, I'm just going to take half an hour out. I just need to go get some food I just need to eat some food and get some sun. By the way, go get sun in your lunch break. You'll thank me later. Don't just stay inside. Go walk outside, sit in the sun and eat some food. Nom, 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 nom. Anyway, but he understands that and he respects that. And I understand that because I work so close with my boss and it's just us two, I get the luxury of that. I get that. You might have a massive team and you're just going to have to suck it up. But if you can let people know when you're most productive, maybe they might be like, oh, well, why don't we have our meeting here instead of there? Okay. Anyway, that is everything for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If so, please feel free to follow or subscribe on whatever platform you're on. You'll get notified when there's new episodes every single Monday and Wednesday. And feel free to leave a review as that really warms my heart. 5 stars would be amazing, but whatever you think. Share this around to a loved one or put it on your stories. Follow us on Instagram at Attitudes with Andy. And that is everything for today. I'll see you guys next week for another episode. Okay, bye.